watching this video. I'm just going to make a quick little guide on uh, kind of like a series on getting into World of Warcraft as a new player. So, the first decision you're going to be faced with starting the game is picking your character. So, there's two factions, Alliance and Horde. Generally, depending on your server, Horde will have more players than Alliance, but cross-faction gameplay is now available for most facets of the game, so it's not really that big a deal. Each race has racial buffs or advantages, so some will be better for certain classes, but the difference is really not that big, so I would suggest playing whatever you think looks the coolest. So after you've picked your race, your next decision is going to be what class to play. Now, not every race can play every class, so if there is a class that you want to play, you may have to choose a different race. For example, Blood Elves and Night Elves are the only ones who can be Demon Hunters. So if you want to play Demon Hunter, you're pretty limited in choice. The classes are divided into ranged or melee, and there's 3 roles, as there are with most MMOs. You got damage, tank, or healer. Not every class can do every role, so you're kind of limited there again, depending on if you're choosing your class based on the role you want to play. Melee are generally easier to play rotationally. Like the abilities you have to press and the order to press them is usually less complicated than range DPS, although it varies depending on your spec and class. However, playing in melee comes with the difficulty of navigating through mechanics and having to stay on top of your target. So that is one drawback. Ranged usually have more complex rotations, but a lot of mechanics you can kind of just ignore because they don't affect you. So not every class is made equal, unfortunately. So some classes are better than others. The easiest way to find that out would be to go to a site like Raider.io or WoW Logs and look at what are the most played in the highest level of content that you want to do. If that's like your goal to do the top level content, if it's not, pick whatever looks the coolest to you and just play that. That's what you're gonna have the most fun with, and that's what's going to make your experience the best.
If you're going to choose your character based on how they're going to perform in the raid, what you're going to want to go ahead and do, not that I would recommend that you do this, but WoW Logs, you go here, you're going to go Warcraft Logs, make sure you're on live, you click this little raid drop down, and just click on a boss, and you're going to see, okay, looks like Aflock is the number 1 here. Let's see the next boss. Who's it again? Okay, Aflock again. Let's see the third boss. Also Aflock. Okay, number 4. Okay, so it looks like Aflock is pretty good. So I think we're going to be playing Aflock. Now, one thing to watch out for. You gotta think about why is this class doing so much damage. Is it all single target? Is it AoE? Main thing actually is that there's a faded affix right now, which spawns a bunch of ads in the fight. Destro locks do a crazy amount of uncapped cleave on them, which is why they do so much more damage than everybody else. But if you want to be number 1 in the pre-patch right now, playing Aflock, this is a really weird time to be looking at WoW Logs. It's the very end of the expansion. We're in pre-patch. Everything's super skewed. So don't roll an Aflock just because of this. This means literally nothing right now. Um, I think the X pack comes out in a week. Not even so. This is essentially useless. But in normally, if we say we go 9-2 and we look, this is a little more normal looking. You're gonna see a little more disparity in between. This is like a cleave kind of fight. So you're seeing Destro Lock, Survival Hunter, a little bit of Frost DK here. If we go over to, you see, Soul, where is it? I don't know what what this Sog needs. Is that a single target fight? In 9-2? Let me see. Yeah, I think so. So it looks like, once again, Destro Lock really strong, Enhanced Shaman. So you can see kind of what people are playing, what's strong, what's performing well. Parses are not entirely indicative of how good a class is. This is like, you're going to do a lot of damage. You might not be providing that much utility to your raid, but if you don't care about that at all, go for it. Play the top parsing spec. But the main thing you should do is play what is fun. Because if you hate Warlock, then why would you play it? You know, it doesn't really make any sense.
Now, deciding what role you should play as a beginning player, especially if you're not used to playing MMOs, DPS is usually the way to go. It's mainly because it's the least responsibility. If you die, your group can still get through the content, and it's kind of a way for you to observe and learn. Tanks are rotationally mostly pretty easy to play. However, if you die, your entire group will usually die, so you have a lot of responsibility in that way. And you kind of need to know the content that you're doing, so you can kind of guide the group through it. And same with healing, you have a responsibility to keep everyone in your group alive. So it is a little bit of pressure in that sense. But if that's what you enjoy the most, just play it. After you've picked your race class, you create your character. None of this is going to affect your gameplay. This is all visual. Same with your name. So just name your character whatever you want. Your two starting zone options are Exile's Reach or Valley of Trials for orcs, but this will change depending on the race that you picked. The Exile's Reach is what I would recommend if you're a new player. It'll give you like a kind of tutorial. However, if you are not, this kind of, depending on the starting zone, it can be a lot faster to just get your initial levels done. So I'm going to pick Valley of Trials. Finish. There's your character. Enter the world.